broke into his house. It played out just before 10 last night in the 1500 block of 2nd Avenue South. That's where an intruder got into the house and was met by the owner holding that gun.
Now the homeowner called 911 and told dispatchers that he had a gun. They told him, though, to get out of the house until officers arrived. That suspect was still inside the Moorhead home when officers arrested 25-year-old Hartavius Ayers for burglary charges. Police tell the Valley today that Ayers did not have a weapon on him. And we're also working this morning to get information on what some viewers reported was a large police presence in North Fargo. It was going on around 10:45 last night around County Road 20 and I-29.
One viewer says he saw 20 to 30 police officers, but we're still waiting to hear from authorities just exactly what was going on with such a large police presence.
Another big story today, that weather system coming in, going to have some major impacts. Lisa Green tracking it all.
Good morning. Yes, it starts up tonight and really kicks in Tuesday, Wednesday, and continues into Thursday. First alert weather days for those 3 days coming up here. And we're looking outside right now at Fargo. You can see downtown in the upper left-hand corner of the screen there, and I-94 right here. Camera shaking a bit with the wind. Going to be our biggest issue for the morning drive here. Otherwise, green lights, especially compared to what's coming our way. We're looking at some pretty good travel this morning and into midday. There are some areas of frost, some icy patches, so it's not completely free and clear this morning. But we will be seeing more ice developing into the afternoon and evening for some of us here to start off this storm system. So we've got a caution light for you here for that evening drive. Here's a look at our temperatures. They're mild at least. We're starting in the 20s, 25 in Fargo. Grand Forks is at 23. It's 28 in Bemidji with some areas of clear sky, but clouds are starting to push in. And once that takes over, we're looking at a mostly cloudy, overcast kind of day. So out at the bus stop today, kids will be out in some temperatures that are a little more tolerable this morning into the 20s here. And then into the afternoon, maybe a little bit slushy and messy out on those sidewalks because temperatures are going to be right around freezing. The wind's going to remain strong out of the southeast. We'll have steady speeds in the teens, but gusts will be getting in the 20s and 30s throughout the day. And that's that warmer air and that moisture that's pushing in ahead of that low moving into the valley. So today's kind of your day to take care of those last minute things you need to do before that storm hits. But it does move in for some of us later in the afternoon and evening, transitioning to snow overnight, and then Tuesday, especially Tuesday evening and into Wednesday morning. That's when we'll have our hardest hit from this storm. I think we'll have wind, we'll have heavy snow at that point. It does gradually try to taper off, but this low is going to be around for several days, and so that means snow adding up. So we'll be tracking it for you throughout the week and helping you deal with this latest round of winter weather coming our way all week long, including today. We'll be keeping you updated right here and on the Valley News Live weather app.
I think we should call it rounds of winter weather.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Just
a boxing match.
One right after the other.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, Lisa, thank you this morning. 6:55, excuse me, right now. The U.S. has a Lockerbie bomb suspect in custody. Authorities say it's the man accused of building the explosive that blew up Pan Am Flight 103 in 1988, killing everyone on board.
Among the victims was 20-year-old Stephen Burrell of Fargo. 270 people died total. Most were Americans, including 35 students from Syracuse University, all returning from a semester abroad. We're following a story out of Wahpeton about an incident involving weapons. Dispatch audio says an individual was being held at gunpoint yesterday and also suggested a suspect now in custody. Wahpeton police are not releasing any information right now about what prompted this incident.
A Fargo man is facing prostitution, threat, and drug charges after police say an investigation found that he participated in arranging sex for money at least 10 times. Aaron Evenson was arrested earlier this month in East Grand Forks. Police say the alleged prostitution acts were set up through a social media site called FetLife. Evanson is also charged with violent threats and harassment after police say texts were found on his phone that intended to inflict fear and harm.
No one was hurt in a laundry room fire at a Fergus Falls nursing home. Firefighters responded to the Minnesota Veterans Home around 1:15. It was yesterday afternoon and found fire in a laundry room on the northeast side of that building.
Fire officials say the sprinkler system was able to contain that fire until their arrival. They say the fire started in a ceiling ventilation fan.
The former police chief of Yankton Sioux Tribe in South Dakota is charged with wire fraud and theft from within that tribe.
According to court documents, he sought wages both from the tribe and a local ministry that was providing flood relief and was paid about $30,000 for overlapping hours on 139 days. Now, that person has pled not guilty to 18 counts of wire fraud and theft from the tribe. It's the largest U.S. onshore oil spill in nearly a decade. There's a rush to now repair and clean up ruptured parts of the Keystone Pipeline in Kansas.
Yeah, that video you see there. The owner, Canada's TC Energy, shut the pipeline down after more than 500,000 gallons of crude oil poured into a local creek, which runs through rural pasture land. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz visited with Minnesota-based troops in Kuwait this week, just ahead of the holidays.
More than 80 soldiers of the 347th Regional Support Group were deployed in April to the Middle East, including Kuwait, to provide assistance with logistics and base operations. Another 25 soldiers from the 147th Human Resources Company headed over to the Middle East back in September. A Fargo woman has been battling health issues after health issue, and while that can be daunting on your own, the community has now come together to raise support for her. Angie Mueller's health battle started in 2010, and it has developed to her dealing with Sjogren's syndrome, degenerative disc disease, fibromyalgia, and neuropathy.
Through this, she says she's lost her job, she's had to move in with her mother, and she says she lives in constant pain. Despite that, though, the 50-year-old says she's very grateful of what the community has done for her.
I can't even express my gratitude and appreciation. It's just a wonderful feeling, and it actually just chokes me up so much I can't explain it.
A Lend a Hand Up has been set up for the family. Now you can go to valleynewslive.com and find it by clicking on this story.
A Bison football photographer now getting help from Bison Nation. Eric Bennell has been fighting cancer since late June, all while still going to work running cameras for home Bison football games.
The Bison Nation and the community has shown him a lot of love and support, a measure that he says means a lot.
These fans, these Bison Nation, these people around me, have done. It's just been so overwhelming.
Wow, Bennell recently completed his chemotherapy for Hodgkin's lymphoma.
The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. Find us on the CW as we track that winter weather.
Happy Monday, everybody. Stay safe, stay warm.